open, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to being dead. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you could never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you could never own. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right, and your life do what you want. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right, and your life do what you want. So give me all the scars, I'm a human being. Cover them with tattoos so you can't see. Knew it from the start, you had problems with me and the things I could be, I just wish I had seen. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right, and your life do what you want. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right, and your life do what you want.
Hey,
Hey,
Kim.
Claire.
Woohoo! We're here. We made it. Look at us up here, the two of us. Like,
Wow.
look at your confetti and all. I should have had confetti too. We should be throwing it all over. It's been a long time coming, right? Maybe. How long we know each other? Oh, almost a year, maybe. I don't know on this YouTube.
Probably longer
A
than
while.
that. Yes.
I'm telling you, and it's been a long time coming getting you up here. But
I
the
know.
bear, I'm tenacious, aren't I? I'm a pain in the ass. When I wanted you. I wanted you.
Well, you got me, Claire.
I got
Because I know what's coming next, so please be gentle.
I will. You know, I'm always, when it comes to YouTube cherries, I'm the best. I keep them coming back. Do they ever not come back after I pop their cherry up here? Nope. They're right here. They love it. So I'm gentle. I'm kind. I don't care what they say out there. My actions speak louder than those terrible little voices. But let me just say, I am so excited to be back to Brooker time. That's what I'm going to call it. Like, it might be in Black Mirror that we're reviewing, but hell, when it comes to this hour, it's Brooker time. It's Brooker time. Like, I admit it, I'm obsessed, Kim, with Charlie Brooker. I am too. I love his writing. I love these series. I just cannot believe, like, you picked this one. By the way, people, this one, Hang the DJ, this was all Kim's idea. Like, I don't know. She wanted to come in softer. She thought it was going to be an easy episode because it was so lighthearted, you know, but she forgot the bear. The bear just went through some terrible breakup, and the bear had issues with this episode, actually. Because Charlie got me in the feels again, but he always does. I mean, everything.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Don't apologize at all. You're breaking up just a little bit. So
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try that again.
Is this better?
That is much better. Okay, I can hear you better. Can you guys all, if you guys are having an issue in the chat, just let me know. I don't have Discord open. So Maj, you'll have to talk to me either by Twitter, please, or in code. In code in the chat. No, don't talk in code. Just give me a note. But it does sound like you're muffling out to me, but they're telling me you're loud and clear. But
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Anyway, why did you want to do this episode? Just give me that. Let's tell them that before I tell them what's it about. Why this one?
Well, it had a little lighter feel, and I felt like for our first time together, it might be nice. Plus, I kind of know how you and I think a lot of the team, and I felt like we would kind of have like a really good rapport and could kind of feed off of each other on things in this. So I just felt like this would be a really fun one for us to do.
I think so, because it's like personal. Like, I mean, let me just get into it so that they know, because I know some of you that come to listen, you don't even watch the episodes, like you don't even know. You just like to hear us go back and forth about it, which I totally enjoy. But let me just like give you all like a heads up. The Hang the DJ Netflix was in season 4. It is the 4th episode of the 4th series of that British anthology. They always say Black Mirror, and it's written by the wonderful, amazing, fantastic Charles Brooker. And this one was directed by Tim Van Patten, which happens to be one of my favorite directors anyway. And he's been doing great with Charlie. They get along fantastic. It's like they know what each other thinks. This first episode aired on Netflix along with the rest of the season way back in December of 2017. Yeah, we're dating it, but we don't care. Like, good stuff lasts. Okay. Black Mirror is still a thing because it is that good. And if you haven't seen it, I can't recommend enough getting your conspiracy hat on and just go watch one episode. Just watch one and tell me it doesn't make you think. If it doesn't make you think, then walk away. But I love it because Charlie has a way of getting me in the feels and making me think about stuff. And that's what I want. That's what I want from entertainment. I want to think. I do. I want to be expanded in some way. You know what I mean? Well, anyway, this episode follows like two people, Amy and Frank, and they are matched in relationships for fixed lengths of time by an algorithm that eventually determines their lifelong partner. So in other words, it's like Spotify or Tinder. Like it's the Spotify of Tinder. Is what they're trying to do. They're like figuring out what you like ahead of time, and it's like sending you out on these dates based on what how Spotify throws you songs based on what you've already listened to. It's kind of like that. And then the Tinder is supposed to, like, the Tinder part of it is the dating app part of it, And I don't know. The episode was inspired, actually Brooker actually did an interview and said it was Spotify that actually inspired him to write this episode. And I'm like, yeah, because it gives people playlists. Yeah.
Right.
And so he was like, well, what if you could have a playlist for relationships? And I'm like, damn, Brooker, you're weird. Like, I want to have dinner with you. I do. I want to have dinner conversation with Charlie Brooker. Like, he weird. Like who says, like, wow, I want a playlist of relationships?
I know.
Where does that come from? But what do we get? We get the beautiful episode of Hang the DJ. There was it is a whole setting of like being on holiday. The tranquil scenery, little cabins, you don't have to worry about anything. It's like if you could take, your relationship and you actually had time, like 36 hours to actually do it, or 12 hours, just to spend with that one person to figure it out. And it's all like kind of limited. The critics, when they saw it, and this is coming like right from Wikipedia, just to give you guys a snapshot, they drew parallels between this episode and the online dating apps through Tinder, which is obvious, with that little pod thing and the way they swipe the people. And also it made the 3 episodes that really, really stand out from prior Black Mirror episodes are San Juniper. You cannot deny the correlation through there. You really can't. And the other one, the one with the guy from Mad Men, what was the name of that episode? You know what I'm talking about? In the Kitchen, the one with the sentient beings.
White Christmas?
Yes,
No.
White Christmas.
Yeah.
No, it could be White Christmas. Yes, it's White Christmas. That's the kitchen, right? They got
Yes.
Okay. Definitely that one about if you're in virtual reality, if you're sentient. Okay, and striking vipers. Sorry, that's sentient to the max when you're in virtual reality. Striking vipers, right? Like I'm still like, don't even get me started. Like that's a whole nother episode. Like I have to do other things about that because that really sent me spinning. That sent me like how sentient. But a lot of these episodes are about, even the one about Rachel and the one where the rock star was put into the little device, but she was sentient in there, like her core being was in this doll thing, in this thing, and she was in a coma. Like Charlie's always playing with what if virtual reality allowed you to be sentient while you were in virtual reality, like really sentient.
Yeah. And he really has a thing about like with being cookies or virtual reality or AI having sentiency.
No, absolutely. Like, how far does it go? Like, do you know you're there or you don't know you're there? Like, are you there or you're not there? Like, it actually, that is the part that actually gets me with all of his episodes. When he starts playing in that area, he really entices me because it's something I think about. And how can you not when we spend so much of our time online anymore? Really, people. Our phones, now that our phones are connected online constantly, one button to Twitter, one button to YouTube, one button to like it's right there. It's not it's not like it used to be go sit in front of a computer in your office for 10 hours or something. It actually goes everywhere you go now, right? Like
it does.
You're connected online 24/7 almost,
on your computer anymore where you're like toggling between all these different tabs. It's so much easier on the phone, actually.
It is. It absolutely. It's so much easier, and in a way that's great, and in a way not so much, right? It's it's not good because of how easy it is. Like it's like too easy to waste too much time there. But also it's also great in another way. Like I love connecting with everybody. Like I want to be one button away from certain people at sometimes, so it's like really cool. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. And I think that this episode plays on that about, the sentient part of it, especially because, towards the ending, which we don't want to tell them yet in case they don't know, but they might know. But anyway, Frank and Amy meet each other on a date, right? And then Frank and Amy get told they only have 12 hours to be together. But the problem is that Frank and Amy, they like each other. They instantly connect on a ridiculous level on the fact that this whole thing is ridiculous. And once you actually connect with somebody on that, when you look into each other and go, isn't this a fucking joke? Like, that's it. Like, that's it. Like, you get it. Like,
great connection.
Exactly. A great connection. And then to know, like, that's part of it, to know, like, when it's going to end. Like, can you imagine you're going on a first date and you already know the whole thing? So it's good and bad, right? Like you say it's a first date. We only have 36 hours to spend. Like, how do we want to spend them? We got 36 hours. We never have to see each other after that. It's over. It's done. What do we want to do? It's freeing in a way. And it's also crippling in a way. It's crushing in a way.
Exactly. Because like with Amy and Frank, if you really like someone and you've just got that limited time, you're going to try to do everything you can to cram as much into that time. And you don't want to let go. I mean, that was the thing that really got me with them, because as they were saying goodbye, like their hands were like extending and she didn't want to let go of him.
Right. It just did not. And yeah, it was sweet. They were a sweet couple. Like I like them.
Cute.
I did. Do I like anybody else they dated? No, not a single one. But been there. Like some of them, it just was
right here.
Right? Did Brooker not go through all the relationships on this is not what you want, people? Like you want someone. You want someone to tell you what they want out of a relationship, but not the way that one woman was. Who was that? Nicolette?
Was. And then you had Amy's second, Lenny, Mr.
Mr. With the water. Were you going crazy with the water? Like every time he drank that water, I was like, oh no, I could not. And it's so funny. It's just a glass of water. It's just the way he drank a glass of water. Oh my God.
I know. But then he even did any sex.
No. Yeah, that was the no. I don't know. What I want to know is why were they all like when you were looking at those relationships, what I kept thinking of, and maybe I'm just weird, like they were all just going through the motions. I'm like, why are you even bothering to have sex here? Go masturbate. This is ridiculous. Like this is insulting. This is actually insulting to people as people, the way they were with each other. It was it was demeaning. Yeah, it was demeaning, like, yeah, it was weird. I'm like, do people actually do that? Is there a quota? Like you have to do it every day, so you do that? Like I don't know, not me.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It was definitely kind of weird. It's like I just like I believe in giving people direction in making you happy, but Nicolette, it was just like and then she hit and goes, "Is that any better?" And she's like, "No, not really." Okay, well, whatever. Like, okay, but then it did actually play what I do know about men in general. Once they start, there's nothing but the finish. I'm telling you, it don't matter.
Right?
They're gonna get it done. They're gonna get it done somehow, some way. It's like I was laughing though. It was kind of crazy.
So funny. It was so funny.
What was the absolute like? When did you realize? Here's a question for you. When did you realize that Brooker was playing with us really hard? Like, how far in did you get? Because he likes to yank us around a bit. But
right, honestly, it took a while for me, and I don't even think I realized it the first time I saw it until the very end when you realize what's happening to them.
Right,
and that's when I kind of realized it. But then I guess the second time, it had been months since I'd seen the show between the first time and the second time. So I'd forgotten a lot of it. And I think it was when they were standing there, when they were in the supposed 5-year period. And she actually questioned about it being a simulation at that point.
And like, if you could like get, like, I didn't like the idea that they all were saying like, okay, you got to be in this relation. Like when they, first of all, when you look at somebody and you're like not feeling it, like that when Frank and Nicolette were at the table and it told them they had to be together for a year, and they're like, crikey, like, fuck me. Like, God, I don't want to do this. And I'm like, why do it then? Why are you going, like, the desperation of people to feel like they're going to get the one, like they're missing something. Like, that's the only reason they would possibly go through that year, is so that this simulation could gather the information to match them up with the perfect person. I mean, that is like a desperate need for all of us to feel like somebody gets us that much, like that way. That's when he got me. I was like, damn, Charlie, going to hit me in the head. Why don't you, Charlie? Thanks, Charlie. Like I wasn't feeling a little bit alone already, but thank you. Like, thank you very much. But because there's no dating app like that. You're not even giving me a year, Charlie. Like shit. No. I think if he puts this out there, he should be responsible for the technology. I really do.
Right. And what got me was when Frank realized he's stuck with this miserable person for this long period of time. And he asked Coach, is there any way out of this? And it's like banishment. You're banished. It's not even like, okay, just go on to the next one or a penalty. It's like, nope, you can't play anymore. You can't play at all, right? No. Game over.
Pico says, what's interesting to me is how each relationship changes the two people, thus effectively altering their potential happiness or dissatisfaction with the next partner. Exactly. It was like,
Yeah.
and the actual app or the system that they're doing is using like it all, and it's purposely putting them in these situations to gather information, like, you know, to find, like they knew they weren't going to get along. Like they set them up to stay together for a year, and they knew damn well they didn't like it. They weren't going to like each other at all.
Right.
And I think for Frank, I think the lesson was, how much are you willing to put up with? You know, just be with somebody. Like, this is crazy. Like, you know,
how much are you willing to be controlled?
Yeah,
because she was very controlling.
Oh my God, this is like, whoa, she was like a nightmare. I'd be like, I don't ever want to be like that.
No. Then when they went to that pairing ceremony, and he saw Amy again, just the look on his face.
Yeah. Just the you know, the way they looked at each other too. Like they got each other. Just their little banter back and forth. It was just and it was simple and goofy. Like they weren't even like gaga or anything. They were just goofy, simple, chill. Like normal people. Like when you meet somebody and you're instantly chill with them and you just start to like, it's just comfortable to be around them, and you start that way. I mean, it wasn't like lightning, but it wasn't like they say like, you know, hearts and flowers, lightning bolts, and you know, all these and you just can't keep my hands off. It wasn't like that. It was just like, hey, this is cool. Like this is nice to be chill and cool and be around somebody on that level. Like you get me. Like you really get me. I don't have to worry about what I say, you know?
Right. Like I don't have to worry. And you know, nothing's uncomfortable. Everything just feels good. Everything fits.
Yeah. So going on with the story, they're putting them through all of these different apps, you know, all of these different dates at different times, and neither one of them seemed to be very happy about it. And then they do put them together again, right? And they get to have a relationship, and they agree not to look at the pod to tell what time it is, because you're supposed to look together. You're supposed to count 3 and look together. That's part of the rules of the simulation. It's part of the rules of the app, and they decide together.
They're not going to look and see how long they have together this time.
Right. So they get to actually, after their first 12 hours, and then they meet these other people, and then they get a redo. Like they just put them together again. And they're both very excited about it, right? Like they were really happy to get back together again, because, you know, after having these other relationships, they were like, well, no, I'm going back with this one. This was good. Yeah.
I loved how Amy was like, Coach, are we at the right table?
Yeah. Are you sure? Like, are you sure? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's like, it's really funny because they get to talk to the simulation thing. Like there's like a partner in there supposed to help you. It's like a counselor called Coach. It's just the program, and it gives you, you know, kind of tells you, reminds you about the rules and all that other stuff as you go. But they get back together. They decide not to look, right? And then I'm gonna let you take it here, Kim, because I have issues with this. This is one of my pet peeves in relationships all the time. I'm gonna see if you point out the same thing. We'll go. But
okay, so they're back together. They do decide not to look at the expiry date on their relationship, but it's driving Frank crazy. And he wants to know so badly. He wants to know. And she's like, no, we're not. We shook on it. And she's sleeping. And this is where Frank really disappointed me. He goes and he gets her disc and his disc, and he swipes them. And he sees 5 years, and he's thinking, oh, yay, 5 years. This is wonderful. And then all of a sudden you hear recalibrating.
Yeah. And he fucked up. Yeah.
Going down. And he couldn't get it to stop. And you had that break in the trust then.
Yep. But she did look, right? She did look later. Didn't she pull out her pod and look too? And I got a little annoyed with her too, because she was so mad at him when she saw it only. But when she looked, it was after he looked, so it said only an hour or two, you know.
Right.
And
yep. Very short amount, like an hour and a half.
Yeah, but she didn't admit to him that she looked too, without, you know what I mean? And that annoyed me a little bit, but because she was making a big issue about the trust, which trust for me is a huge issue. And I understand what she was saying. Like, why didn't you come to me? We would have did it together. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you just went against something we agreed to do together, and you went and made a decision on your own, and you fucked everything up, in all honesty, because now we only have a couple hours instead of 5 years. And
she even told him, she was like, you ruined everything. You ruined it.
Yeah, that's horrible thing to say to somebody, but it's true, because it kind of broke how they were feeling at the moment about each other. But at that point, she should have, I was hoping, didn't it look like it the first, when they were doing that conversation, like they're so good at this, the director had them looking at each other face to face, and I thought for sure she was going to say, I looked too, we messed up, we should have did it together. You know, she had a perfect opportunity to own that shit and bond the two of them together like goddamn grown-ups, but no, what does she do? Typical, like, you know, some of these women do this shit. It's all your fault. But forget about what I did to contribute to it. It's all your fault, dude. Like, no, you did it. You broke it. Perfect out. I don't have to feel guilty. And I was disappointed in that. I really was. And she let me down too. Yeah.
Right. And I think that was like having them do that and having them lose the trust and having her walk away from him. And like, no, I'm not even going to spend another hour and a half with you. I'm done.
Yep.
I think that said so much, not only about them as a couple and their dynamic, but also about the program, because it had to show he had the fortitude to get through a breakup with someone that he really cared about and someone that he really loved.
Yeah. The emotion that they both had kind of, you know, confirmed how they feel about each other. It kind of added that bolster, like they really did care, and it was something worth fighting for, and they lost something. You know you actually have something if you feel the loss. If you feel the loss of it, if you feel like the responsibility for messing it up, like he did, like he knew he messed it up, and he felt so guilty. Yeah.
Yeah. His heart was broken, and it was so hard just seeing him sitting there and just crying.
I don't know. In a way, like I don't like soft, like squishy men, but a man crying over something like that, and he'd get me every damn time. Like that was real. You know, that wasn't just blubbering and just being weak. That was the strongest. He looked strong, masculine, and he owned his emotions, and I was there for it. You know, hint, hint, wink, wink, men. Yeah. Yeah. If it's real, you know, then I'm absolutely all there for it. You know,
definitely. I want someone that can show that tender side and that vulnerability.
Yeah, but it was. But you know, then they're broken up again. Here they go, and
they are. Yeah, and now we don't them.
Say that again, Hugh.
I said we weren't going to know what was going to happen to them until.
Go on. I'll let you go on. Tell them.
So then Amy gets a notification that she has been paired with her ultimate match. And as she's being told this, she's also told that she can pick one person to spend a short amount of time with to say goodbye to. And before they even really finish that sentence, she's like, I pick Frank. So they have one more chance encounter.
And that was like a gift. She was so excited about that because she had regret. Yep.
She did. Yeah, so they got out.
What'd you think about her skipping that controller right in the water? Like, that's it. I got one chance with him, and I don't really care. That was her way of saying, I get to meet him now that I know where he's going to be. That's it. That's my one shot, and I don't care what this machine says anymore. Like, I'm done with you. Like, you're not controlling this relationship anymore. So she went into that meeting, you know, that meetup with him, knowing that she was going to have total control over how she was going to do it. And she wasn't listening to that thing anymore.
Exactly. She was gonna take back her life.
Yep. Take control of that, whatever happened with that relationship. And when they met in the restaurant, I was like, yay! Like, they didn't care anybody was watching. They were just kissing each other. Like, I'm so happy to see you. And it was just like, great,
No, it was just so passionate. That was what was so great about it, because after they had ended the other way before, you didn't know if it would be awkward or if there would still be that passion. And I was so glad to see that there was. That they were so still into each other.
They really were. Like, they really had a connection. And then the power of it, the way Brooker and Tim Van Patten then decide to show the power of committing to something was impressive. Yeah. Do you want to tell them about that? Because that really knocked my socks off. Like, it was like the way they did it.
Yeah, they were in the restaurant. You're talking about like kind of the final.
Yeah, when they were leaving the restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're in the restaurant, and they're talking, and she's like, "Do you remember anything before this?" And he is like, "No." And she's like, "I think this is just, again," she's like, "I think this is just all a simulation. I think we need to go over the wall," because there was this big wall, and it had like these little metal rungs that they could climb up. And she kept looking at it every time she would go past it. And they didn't know what was beyond the wall, if there was anything beyond the wall. So they decided they were going to leave and rebel against this dating app. And they go to leave. And one of the little, I call them like a bodyguard, I don't know what they were really, goes and stands up and has his taser and starts acting like he's tasing her. And she just walks up and puts her hand on it. And everyone froze except for Frank and Amy. And I was, yes, you're such a badass.
And and that was it. It was like they were saying, like, once you take control of the situation, it's like all yours. No one. Once you take control of it, no one can interfere with that. And that was like, to me, that was like, yes, yes. Because so many times there are outside interferences into relationships that don't belong. And it should actually be about the people that are there, and not anybody else. And so that like spoke to me louder than just the imagery, which I have to admit, like, when they do their imagery, the cinematography with the Netflix, with this series is pretty damn good. I'm never disappointed, actually.
Right. And it was so good in this one, and so much symbolism and everything in this one.
It is. Hello, Virillion. I hope you're having a good day.
Hey, Virillion.
Yeah. But this is like it's so layered in far as relationships and all. So it's going to hit people in a different way. Like, when you look at it as a nice, soft episode, like it's no real big deal. And for me, it hit me on so many different levels that I'll probably actually be thinking about this one for a while. And I feel sorry for my mods and the people that I deal with in the Discord, because I'm going to be like talking about these things. They're going to get sick about it because I can't let it go until I get all of these little things out about it. But one of them is it actually great if you know how things are going to go? Like, I can't get over the fact that they actually tried to predetermine how everything's going to go ahead of time, like what food you're going to eat, where you're going to be spending the time, how much time you're actually going to spend with this person and everything. And they're kind of like, they took so much away from it when they really had the free will to do whatever they want. Those two just laid there and stared at each other for 12 hours. For 12 hours, like, nothing. They weren't talking. They were right. It was like so much wasted time, and that's not trying to be like, not the physicality of it, not the actual, you got to talk the whole time. The connection. They were so afraid to connect to each other because they knew it was just going to blow apart. They did, like, it's going to be gone. Like, why bother? Like, free will was gone. Like, nothing I do is going to matter. They just sucked the life right out of it, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. What do you think, Kim? I mean, it just killed me.
Yeah, it really did. And I think in that first encounter between Frank and Amy, what really struck me was when they were laying there in bed, and Amy said something like, it's so much easier now that everything is mapped out for a person.
I agree. I agree.
And I was like, no, it's not, because you don't have any free will.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have free will over who you will be with or how many people you're going to be with.
Mm-hmm. No.
But I did tell,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
like when she reached over and took his hand and just smiled.
Mm-hmm. They were both laying there with little tiny grins on their face, like, isn't this great? I'm connecting. I'm chill. Like, this person's comfortable, and I'm afraid to make a single move because of this damn app, you know.
Yeah.
But right there, I kind of knew they were rebelling. They were freaking, even in not doing anything, they were rebelling. Yeah,
they were,
and it was like they just rebelled instantly, you know, against all of it, because they were like, I don't care what anybody says. This is cool. Like, this is okay. It's not thunderbolts. It's not this. It's not that. But it is comfortable. Like, I could live. Like, I could be here. I could live here. You know. And that speaks loudly. Like, everybody thinks it's got to be this, like, knock your socks off, fall over dead kind of shit. That's not real world. The real world is in the connection, when somebody gets you and you know you can just hang there. The real world is when the silences. I don't know about you, Kim, but to me, in the real world, and I talk a lot. Everybody knows. The bear, talk your fucking ear off constantly. Like, you got to get used to that noise. But what matters to me is when those silences are so damn comfortable, I know I got it right. I know I got it right.
I mean,
when I can just be around somebody, just be without saying anything.
Right.
That's cool. That is like that's the shit. Is that the saying? It's like, that's a saying from when I was, that is it. Yeah. From like, that's it. It doesn't mean like true love and like I'm bonded with you forever, but that's the connection. That's the real deal for me on whatever level it is, whether it be a friend, a coworker, a lover, whatever it is. That is like, the true connection.
Yeah. Like, I know my husband and I had that. We could go and, you know, get off work and come home and have dinner and have like a little conversation about our day and everything at dinner. And the rest of the evening, just sit there and not really even have a conversation at all, but just every once in a while, just kind of look over at each other. And it's like we were that connected that we just knew what we were thinking, what was going on. If one of us needed something more, we just knew that without having to say anything. And it's those unspoken words that people hear that are so important.
I hear those louder than anything, but I do understand. Let me just read Varian's comment here. Is there's so many times there's outside interference in many interactions. It's always good to take control of you. We agree. We both just said that, like, right before Varian. We're 100% behind that comment. That sometimes you just have to shut out all that noise and just deal with the two of you, and that's what this couple did together. Like almost instantly, they were just like, forget about it. Like, it doesn't matter. Or it's only like the two of us is what's matter, not what anybody else is gonna say or interfere about it. But those silences that you're talking about, like, that's the things that people don't say that you hear or you do. When you're not spending all your time trying to figure out what the other person is thinking, where you're coming from, how you feeling, what are you doing, blah blah blah, like that. Like, if you have to do all of that, then there's something there with you. And then I'm sorry, you're going to annoy the fuck out of the other person. I know if you're doing it to me, you annoy the fuck out of me. But, and I try not to do it to other people, but I'm really, really curious. I don't know about you, Kim, but I'm extremely curious about a million things, usually all at once, which can be frustrating, you know, for other people. You know, I kind of feel sorry for people that try to get to know me in the beginning of a relationship, because you get like almost too much information at once. You know what I mean, Kim? Like, you just, it's like freaking overload. Like, there's no pace.
Yeah, everyone.
There's just no pacing. Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, but the ending is the best part for me.
Yes.
Where'd we leave them? We left them in the restaurant, and everything, like, they can walk around. Everything, the whole simulation stops dead as soon as they didn't give any power to anybody else. Like, stopped dead. It was like simulation over, and they decide to climb the wall to get out of the app.
Yes.
And now now we're going to get to the ending where, of course, it's going to be a what I like about it is Charlie gave us a happy ending.
He did.
And I'm like, thank you, Charlie, because I needed one today. Like, I needed a happy ending.
I needed it.
Did you? And it was good. Like, if he had did anything else, I'd probably be screaming his name like I did last time in the last time like that. Like, which I think he likes. I think Charlie likes us screaming his name. He's a little weird like that. But, it's just when it comes to Brooker and happy endings, he's still making me think. Like, I'm happy. I'm happy. Just for anybody who hasn't seen the episode, they climb the wall. They climb the wall out of this simulation. And the wall disappears, okay? And they end up in this place where there's all of them, all 1,000 images of the times that they have dated in this app. The reason you don't remember anything is because you keep going through the same thing over and over again, and the simulation over and over and over again. And so they are like, watching all of the simulations disappear until you get to like the real people. And it's I'm sorry, go, because it's breaking up. Go. Yeah.
I said they're like vaporizing.
Yeah. And so that was a very cool visual, the way they made them and then the looks on their faces when they realize they're a simulation, but they're sentient, and they start to and then they themselves disappear. Like, that was a big one for me. Like, if you realize you're sentient in a virtual reality world, but you're really not there. You're really somewhere else. Like, what's that like? Because you're sentient, you can feel, you're like affecting the things around you. Like, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden, boom, you're out again. But they get out and they're watching themselves disappear. And then they realize that they've done this 1,000 times, and 998 times they rebelled against the system, crossed the wall, and they were together happily ever after. And then it flashes into the machine again to show us that that's how they get their 99.8% match perfection rate. They do this to everybody to keep this percentage up. So everybody goes through this process for this dating app thing to work. And that was so funny of Charlie, like just to remind us how dating apps get all the information and what they put through. It's all what you put in there. So if you don't get a perfect match, it's because you're lying about who you are. And then expecting to get what you want or what you need or what's going to work. It's it's really kind of crazy. But that was really, really great, the way that they just went 99.8% match. And then you see them at the party, and they're real, and just the grins on their faces, just oh my God, I know, just and the grins.
It's like, oh, you look familiar.
Yeah. And the grit and the way she looks at him and walks towards him, he was done for. He would. He would. Yeah, he would.
Yeah. Yes. He might as well just run down to Kay's and buy the ring now.
But it was just, it was nice to see a happy ending like that. And that is where Hang the DJ comes in, because there is no DJ in this story. Nobody gets hung. There is no emotional trauma like that. There's no war. Hang the DJ was written. It was all about Chernobyl at the time, way back.
Yeah.
And it was it was about rebelling against the system. So in that way, there is a lot of rebellion in this episode. But the DJ doesn't come into the end. That's the song that's playing at the party when they finally get to meet. That's it. This period. He just took the title, boom it in. And I only have, now that we're at the ending of it, just to wrap up, we got 12 minutes, Kim. We could talk about the Easter eggs, but I'm going to disappoint you, and I feel terrible because, what, you and I always go back and forth about all the weird things that we find in the episodes. So I only have two. Yeah.
Okay, what do you have?
I have that Hang the DJ was on the original playlist from San Juniper, and it got bounced. That. And that Charlie Brooker, being the pedant that he is, couldn't let that go. And he wrote a whole episode because he had to drop that song because he wanted that song in the playlist and he had no room. So what does he do? He writes a whole episode around it. Thank you, Charlie. That's crazy. He actually said that in an interview. He said, yep, I had to drop it from the playlist. And so here you go. I started thinking about it, and then off came Spotify with playlist relationships, and there you go. Hang the DJ is a new episode. There you go. I love the way that man thinks. Oh God,
I know.
I want to have dinner and conversation with him. Nothing else. Nothing else. I just want to talk to the man. I just want to talk to him. You know, it would be like, oh,
I know. So that's all you had?
I have that one. And then when they are talking on the grass and everything, when they're in the park scenarios and the scenery scenarios, it reminds me of the bicycle one. What's that? 15 million credits or whatever. That episode when he's looking out at the end, you know, with the beautiful world. I'm thinking he's looking at that beautiful world. He's looking at the Hang the DJ virtual reality world. But because it just reminded me of it very much. But really and besides the technology being somewhat similar to things that go on and just the theme of sentient being in a virtual, you know, reality setting, I could not find much. Like no candy bars with names on it. The restaurant... One of the bar scenes does look the backdrop of the bar looks a little bit like San Juniper, but not. You know, I can't really tell. What did you come up with? I'm at a loss.
So the receptionist in USS Callister is looking at the dating app on her phone.
Oh, okay.
And the dating app is also shown in playtest.
It was in playtest. It was the same app. It was the dating app in playtest. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then some of this other could be kind of considered Easter eggs, but it has a lot to do with the symbolism. They kept showing the interlocking circles.
Oh, yes.
First at the restaurant, and they're like interlocked, like overlapping each other. So those represent relationships. Then when they're breaking up and they're like in that kind of mall type setting, there's a shot and it looks up towards the ceiling and the rings are separate. And that's the breakup of their relationship.
I see. Okay. So so wow, I didn't catch that. I did not catch that at all. Thank you. I'm gonna have to go.
Then a few frames later, the rings, there's a different shot from a different angle and the rings look like they're just touching. And that's kind of giving us hope that they are going to get back together. Yeah.
Well, if they have a connection, all you have to do is get close. Like, you know, you just have to you have to kind of be in the same kind of place. It kind of helps, you know, proximity helps, but also be in the same mental place, you know, the same page. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when Frank and Nicola, the second date for Frank, the really controlling person, while they were at dinner, there were gold triangle shapes on the wall. And
doesn't that say everything? Like pointy, rough, and you know, can't put that in a round hole. Can't put a triangle in a round hole. Sorry, they can't do it. Like I get it. Like that visual works for me, Charlie. You cruel man.
Yeah. You can kind of also see it that there's three sides to a triangle.
There are.
And because Frank had just gotten out of the relationship with Amy and he really liked her, there was always going to be a third person in that relationship. Yeah. So Amy would always be that third side.
And I have met people where it's not even another person. It's like me, you, and what you want. Like, there you go. Like that triangle. I've been there. Yeah. You know, there's nobody else involved, but it's just not going to work because I'm somewhere else in where I want to go, or they're somewhere else in what they want to go, or they have already prejudged that they're just not going to go there. Oh, I love those types. Like, you know, this is what it's going to be. Like, I already know what it's going to be. I'm like, do you? Have you met me? Have you fucking met me? Like, no. Yeah. No, nobody's going to tell me how it's going to be. Like, it's going to be what it is. Like, I'm going to recognize what it is, but don't pre-tell me what it's going to be like. I'll surprise you. You just like be open. You know, that's too closed off for me, you know?
In that same restaurant scene, there were also large vertical panels and they had diagonal stripes, which were going downward from left to right. And I felt like that would represent the relationship between Frank and Nicola, would always
Mhm.
be going on a downward spiral.
Yeah. Yeah. Just saying, I'm glad to hear you. I'm going to answer this for you. She says, I saw Hang the DJ in your title, and I was hoping you were referring to my favorite brand, The Smiths. What are we actually speaking of? Yes, they did play The Smiths at the very end. It's the song When the People Reunite. But what we are actually doing is talking about the Black Mirror episode from Netflix, from Charlie Brooker wrote the Black Mirror series from series 4, episode 4. Hang the DJ is the title of it, and it's about it's as if Spotify created a dating app and you get to playlist your relationship ahead of time, and they're trying to figure out like who would be your best compatible person for the rest of your life, and it's all in simulation. But the best part is you're completely sentient the whole time, like you're in virtual reality, but you feel, you touch, you're real, like you have reaction, like it's like you're completely sentient, and it's kind of wild. So that's what we're talking about, because like I love Charlie Brooker, and we have a thing for this series. I have a playlist. I've already done 13 with a couple of other creators. We've covered it, and now Kim and I are going forward with the rest of the series. I think we got 12. Will it be 11 now?
11.
Yeah, I'm going to do White Bear in a week with Jack. And yeah, it is insane. Just saying, I'm telling you. If you watch anything from Black Mirror, if you want insane, let me give you 2 recommendations. Okay. If you want to get into this sentient part, of like what they're trying to do, watch Striking Vipers, right?
Yes.
Watch San Juniper, and then watch this one. And I think you'll get on a personal level what Charlie's trying to say, instead of the societal. Like, he's got plenty of them out there about society. Okay. But these 3 episodes specifically are speaking to the core person and how we're looking at stuff with virtual reality. In my humble opinion, as a bear who's very excited about virtual reality getting here, like, put me in a bubble, people. I can't wait. I'm no bones about it. I'm not even going to try to hide it. I would be over the moon. I would sell my house to do that shit. I'm telling you, seriously, because it's just, yes, kind of like Ready Player One, Ready Player Two, Ready Player One. I get you, Matt Pig, but not exactly. Brooker he can write, and he just makes you think. And you know, yeah, all the episodes are on Netflix now. They're still there, the whole series. I make no bones about it. This is a vanity project, would you say, Kim? I make no bones about it. I don't care about the views. I don't care if you all come to watch. When it comes to being able to talk about Brooker, yeah, and Kim just decided that she likes him as much as I do. So we said, hey, let's just finish this up here on YouTube and, just go, because I just think the man's a genius. I just want to have a conversation with him sometime, and everybody knows I talk to Brooker out here like as if I know him. Right, Charlie? Because I feel like I do. I feel like he's in my head, like sometimes, like the way he writes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you ready for my last Easter egg?
Yeah, knock me out. Knock me out, because you beat me. Round 1 goes to Kim, everybody, for Easter eggs. Okay, just so you know, I'm giving it to her. Go on. Yeah.
So, did you notice anything about numbers in this episode?
I did. Is it the number 4? Because 4 was driving me crazy. 4 was all up my ass. Is it the number 4? Because
is it number 4?
Okay, so tell them why. Yeah, tell them why.
Was the 4th season. This was also 4th episode. Frank and Amy have, through this whole thing, a total of 4 meetings. Each of the expiry dates on their disc is divisible by 4.
Right. Okay. They went a long way for that one. But people did, right? Did you find that one on your own, or did one of the articles lead you that way?
I read it and I was like, no, it wasn't. No, I was like, because 9 months is not divisible by 4.
Yeah, but they always you got to relook because they put the hours in it.
I did rethink, and I thought, 9 months is 36 weeks.
There you go.
So
thanks, Charlie, messing with us again.
Yeah. So for even the year, it would have been either 12 months or 52 weeks. It was always 4 skips of the stone.
Yeah,
which
it was
on
right
of letting us know right then it's a simulation, and they just didn't figure in less or more skips of a stone.
I love the way that played out, the 4 skips of the stone, you know. First he's doing it. It's a quirk that he does, you know, right? And yet when she leaves the relationship, she brings it with her. It means something. When she's thinking about him, she's doing it, right? It means something to her. So when she gets her power about the relationship and she decides that's what she wants, what does she do? 4 skips of that stone right into the pool with the device. And I was like, yeah, that's how it plays out, because that's real life with a relationship. You take something you got from the person, you bring it with you wherever you go. That's how you know it was real, right? And when you use that to empower yourself and to fight for it, you know you got a good thing. Like, you know, it it was a simple thing, and it just meant so much bigger. Like so much bigger impact. And thank you, Charlie, because that's what you do to me. That's what you do to me. Damn it. God.
I kind of feel like the skipping of the stones could also represent skipping from one relationship to another.
Exactly. Until you get to the one. But I don't like the idea that the stone sinks. Like when I get to the final one, to me, it's not going to be a sinking. It's going to be more uplifting, like just more uplifting. Like not even, I'm not looking for, I'm not looking for the lightning bolts and the saints and the angels and all that other shit that don't exist. I'm looking for just that I'm here, I've arrived. Like this is comfortable. This is good. Yeah. Hey, great sex would be great too. But
exactly. Always good.
No, listen, if great sex is there immediately, great. But there are ways to make sex great. Let me just tell you, like you can work on it. Don't make it toss it out. There's always room to grow. So,
and when Amy was at the pool, that's kind of, I think, when she realized she has free will.
Yes.
So he tells Coach to count to 4. When she tells Coach to count to 4, if you look at the timer, when you're, the little bar down there, it would have been at 44 minutes and 40 seconds.
Exactly. So it was 4. It was like, that was the big Easter egg. That was the the big thing that they were all talking about. Yeah.
When you just go underwater on the 4th skip, the time is at 44 minutes and 44 seconds.
Exactly. Okay. Wow.
So it's all about 4s.
Oh, there you go. You know what? That was great. And you know what? And there's like, for one that's like simple, it actually made me think a lot. Like I told you, you said it was going to be easy. It's going to be good. It would be a nice way to break in. I'm like, Charlie never leaves me alone like that. Charlie just, it's my own fault, because like I am actually listening to what he's trying to say, because the one thing about Charlie Brooker is he's got a lot to say. This is 52-minute episode that is like, there's a lot in there if you want to really look for it. There is a lot in there that he's saying about how he feels about personal relationships. A lot. Yeah.
There's so much more symbolism in this one. I mean, there was even more. There was a picture on the wall with Amy and me, and it was kind of showing like a circle that was overlapping a square. So you kind of take it like Amy feels like, a round peg trying to fit into a square hole, or
they both did. They both felt awkward in the fact they both felt kind of awkward in the fact that they needed to do this process. Like, and I can understand that. Like, the fact that you can't do it all on your own and you need some damn process to help you figure out who's right for you. But that's the state of how we are now. That's a whole nother conversation, right? About society and where we are with it. But I think I want to keep this to an hour. You cool? I'm going to give you the, what you want to say about the episode last, the Easter eggs were great. You are definitely the hands down winner for Easter eggs today, because you really pulled it out. I had, I knew something about the 4s, but I didn't know all of that. Like, you really got into all of them.
Well, I kind of heard that the fours played into it a lot. So I actually just watched it one time just to pick up on all the four references.
I know, I get it. But
I'm
definitely
obsessed.
you know what they all do. We do have the benefit in doing the reviews. We get to read all the other reviews that people wrote, and we get to look at all the other videos that people have done. And I'm happy to say that, like, when we do it, and Kim, when I did them before with JC, we always just took like what we personally felt about it and talked about it. We didn't care what everybody else was thinking or what everybody else was saying or the popular convention about it. And I think Kim and I going forward, when we talked about it, that's exactly what we're still going to do. It's just our view on it. And we're just going to talk. We're going to use it as a vehicle to talk about the issues that Brooker is actually bringing up. Like, it's not just like, oh, did you like it? Did they use the right color on her shirt? And should it have been black? I don't care about any of that. I care about the message he's going to send. And yes, I'll hit on the scenery and stuff on whether he made the mark or not on what he was trying to say. But usually between the director and the writing, I don't have a lot of complaints, except for that makes me cry. Sometimes he like keeps me up at night thinking about this shit a little too much. Sometimes when I watch an episode. But I like that. I want to be challenged. I want to think. I want to explore, and I want to figure this kind of stuff out. Like, so I love Charlie for that. Mr. Brooker, call me. Let's talk. Yeah, call me. Oh God. I would have a heart attack. Are you kidding? That would be it. It would be, what's going to be on my gravestone? Like, it's going to be Charlie Brooker called. Because I swear to God, if he called, I would have a fucking heart attack. I'd be dead. Boom, just like that. Not a word out of the bear's mouth. That would be it for me.
Whatever happened to me, I'd be like flashing right above my head.
Yeah, that would be it. Wouldn't that be irony? Because you always got to go out with a big irony. Like, you can't just you can't just fizzle. I got to go out with a big irony. That would be it. And that's my tombstone. Charlie Brooker called. Here lies the bear. Brooker called. She died. No, it's funny. But Kim, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is so. Yeah. You good? Yeah. Not so bad. Good. Was I gentle? Yeah.
You were very gentle. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. All right. But here's the big question. Do you want to come back for more?
Yes.
I love yes. Thank you. See, I know I'm playing. I know you're coming back. I mean, who wouldn't come back? Who wouldn't come back? It's Brooker. It's Black Mirror. Like, who wouldn't come back? On that, let me tell you that the next one I do will be with the, we're going to be doing Black Mirror, Kim and I, every other Sunday. Okay. Because Enough and Enough will be next Sunday. And then after that, next Sunday, Kim and I, we're going to tackle National Anthem. It's me, Kim. It's me, Kim, and that pig. That's it. Like, we're doing Black. We're going to get it over with, because everybody's like, you guys aren't going to be able to do that one. Yes, we will. Yes, we will be able to do that one. I'm not afraid.
Get the elephant.
Yeah, just get rid of that elephant. Let's squash that. Like, I will ride that elephant right through YouTube. Okay, that's it. And I'm going to teach Kim how to climb up on that elephant with me, and we are going to ride that elephant all the way through the YouTube streets. It should be lit. I think that one's going to be an hour and a half at least, if they don't throw us off of freaking YouTube for it. I might even pull up graphics for that one, Kim. It's a challenge.
Can we get that image on the thumbnail of riding the elephants?
Riding the elephants? I'm going to try. Let me talk to my thumbnail people. Can you put our avatars on top of an elephant, and we're going to ride it through YouTube? Actually, we should ride the pig in the bikini through YouTube.
We should ride the pig. But if we do the elephant, one of us probably should be riding on the trunk.
Exactly. Yeah. No, right. Make it fun. But no, seriously. But before that, actually, Jack and I, Jack has done AIT with me before. He's a friend in the Discord, and he wanted to do a Black Mirror episode also. And we're going to do White Bear next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. So right after the Enough stream on Sunday, then we're going to do an episode on Tuesday of Black Mirror. We're going to do White Bear. And then that Sunday, Kim and I are going to do National Anthem.
Yes. And I'm so grateful to Jack for doing White Bear because
it's a harder, it's emotional. And you know what? I think he's gonna be great with it because he also is a Brooker fan. He's given us hint between Kim and Jack. They have found ways for us to continue our Brooker obsession right here on YouTube after the series is over. So stay tuned. Like, we got plans for you people. We have plans for Charlie. He's not getting rid of me. He's not getting rid of me. No. Nope. No, but that'll be good. And on that, Kim, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to put on our exciting, smashing up Enough is Enough outro, which I'm obsessed with. We'll see you all soon. Tomorrow, I have true crime for all you murder minions that follow or anybody that's listening afterwards. Like I said, hope you all will catch the replay. Give us suggestions on what episodes you would actually still like to see. There is a playlist listed below of all the episodes we've already covered, so you can get an idea of what's still out there. There's also the Twitter handles for myself and Kim if you have ideas. And we do take criticism, so if you have an idea on how we can improve these reviews or what you would like to see more of, come on, hit us up. Like, I'm not that scary. I will listen. And hey, as long as you're respectful to me, I will be respectful to you, right, Kim?
That's right. And I'm the same way. Please let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Like, because, this is new for Kim and I, together. This is our first stream ever, right?
Yeah, ever.
Yeah.
We've been together at all.
I know I popped your cherry and you lied. Yes, you're coming back. So I told you people, I'm gentle, I'm kind, I am not a mean bear, and they always come back. They do.
It's like when Claire does that, she has you hooked. Something about her.
I wish more people knew that. I wish not more people, certain people, like especially one or two that I want to get real close, and they keep going real far. Like, those kind, the kind that tap you and say, I see you, girl, but I don't know yet. I don't know how much I want to know you. I'm like, get your ass over here. Like, no. Yeah. Patience. The bear has to learn patience. That's what the bear needs. Yeah. Well, hey, Jack, I was just talking about you. Hang the DJ was bad. No, it wasn't. It was sappy good, Jack. We'll talk in Discord. It was Jack. Anyway, Jack is going to be doing White Bear with me. Not this Tuesday, the following Tuesday. It's going to be great, Jack. I just told them about it. You'll have to watch it back. We were sappy, Jack, though, so get your tissues. No, we weren't really that bad. I'm just teasing them because, the emotional sentiment, whatever.
Right.
But on that, thanks for showing up, Jack. And because we're leaving now, I'm putting the outro on. So enjoy my outro. My outro's lit. So, and thank you, co-creator, for making it that way. So thank you, Kim. I can't wait to do this again with her. We'll be talking real soon. Do you got anything on your blog? Do I have to go look? Do I have something to do? Like, what do I have to do?
I'm going to be working on one the next day or two about being the author of your own story.
Okay. Oh, that's something I could speak on. That might be a collab. In case you all didn't know, Kim and I have been collabing with her blog, Irrelevantly Relevant. It is actually, she's a wonderful writer. That's how we got comfortable with each other. I've been reading certain pieces of hers for my channel out there. They fit something that I was doing as far as the series with Enough is Enough, which belongs to everybody in the community. And Kim had a wonderful way of speaking in the community's voice that just resonated with me. And it got pretty popular. Like, a lot of people spoke on it. So, I think it meant, but she writes on other things too, and she's a damn good, funny writer. She's funny as hell, and she talks about real issues, and she's funny as hell while she does it. And I applaud you. You could be my next Brooker, but like I won't panic you. I'm gonna let you go now before you get a TRO on me like the rest of the people that say they love me.
The novel for that is in the works also.
Oh, okay, cool. That's so awesome. All right, so. Outro, here we come. See you soon, Kim. I'm sure we'll be talking tomorrow. All right. Bye, YouTube. Say goodbye, kids. Say bye, YouTube.
Don't wanna cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. Have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you could never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right and your life do what you want. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right and your life do what you want. So give me all the scars, I'm a human being. Cover them with tattoos so you can't see. Knew it from the start, you had problems with me and the things I could be, I just wish I had seen. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show.